Alright. We're finally here with my review of TJPW's Yes Wonderland 2023 from May 25th, 2023 at Kurokan Hall. 774 people were in attendance for this show. This makes this the 5th Yes Wonderland for TJPW, and this has the makings to be a banger show, an absolutely incredible show. A few matches I'm looking forward to personally. I'm looking forward to Arisa Endo versus Miura Watanabe. That main event was Sawyer versus Mizuki. And don't even get me started on Rika Tatsumi versus Suzume. This show has the makings to be an all-time classic. So grab your can of squirt, sit back in your recliner, and get ready for some action from some of the best wrestlers in the world today.
Hey man, where the f is
SlapViper.
I'm just going to let you guys know now, this is only going to be the last 4 matches of the show that I'm going to be reviewing for this. This is not a full review. I did really bad on the first 4 matches, and so I don't want to release something that I don't think is good. So I think I did good on the last 4 matches, so I will release that commentary for those. I apologize for that. But don't worry, my next videos will hopefully get better, hopefully get a little better script going along and everything. But yeah, just so you guys know. Up next, which could potentially be a match of the night contender, Arisa Endo versus Miura Watanabe. First thing I gotta say, with Arisa Endo coming out, like, they called her the Rainbow Hair Warrior, which, funny thing, that was actually Jeff Hardy's nickname. They called her the Rainbow Hair Warrior. And Arisa Endo, one thing I'm gonna say, she got such a great smile, possibly one of the best smiles in TJPW. A very great wrestler as well, until Miura Watanabe shows up. And like, look at her, she's trying to get through the screen already. It's very much it's terrifying, really. I don't know how people don't find that terrifying. But anyway, of course, they show Code of Honor, handshake and everything, and then they start the match. They're grappling everything, putting each other like in headlocks and arm locks and head scissors on the ground and everything. They're really trying to, it's the feeling out process, right? Feeling out process. And Miu gets the first big takedown of the match with a shoulder tackle. Arisa Endo tries to go for a comeback but gets snuffed out pretty easily. And also, happy late birthday to Arisa Endo, and then just time to get beat up by the human equivalent of a Care Bear, so have fun with that. But Arisa Endo was able to mount a comeback, hitting a nice drop kick, and then trying to beat down Miura Watanabe. It puts her in this really nice sort of like surfboard stretch like maneuver. And Miura Watanabe, the absolute power to just straight up bring her arm forward like she's doing basically like a chest fly, but then was able to change up the game plan by doing a double chicken wing, which is actually very smart. But Miura Watanabe was able to get to the rope. Arisa Endo hits a forearm smash to Miura Watanabe and tries to cover multiple times, but every single time Miura Watanabe was able to kick out. Arisu has elbows for Miura Watanabe, and Miura Watanabe answers with a body slam and a shoulder tackle. They continue on this sequence for a little more, but the sequence ends with Arisu trying to strike Miu and another tackle for her to answer. Miu doing a lot of tackle in this match, really just showcasing her power, which is a very nice thing. Miura Watanabe fixed her ponytail, which means she's going for the big swing, but Arisu counters, but for not for long though, as Miura Watanabe gets Endo in the corner hitting shoulder tackles, followed by a back elbow to Miu in the corner hitting a bunch of tackles in a row. Arisu nearly rolls up Miu and hits a leg drop on the ropes, followed by a big splash. And Arisu's a house of fire right now. Goes for a knee to the back of the head, but Miu counters with a swinging gut buster. It's a very nice move. Miu goes for the backbreaker. Arisa Endo counters with a drop kick and the knee drop. Only gets a 2 count on that though. Camel clutch by Endo, but Miu is able to make the ropes. These two then start a strike exchange, and during that strike exchange, the commentary says Miu's kind of terrifying, and then Miu just blasts Endo with a forearm smash. At the end of the exchange, Miu wins. A little more back and forth goes on. Miyu hitting 3 axe handles. Arisu is on jelly legs, and Miyu going for the Care Bear hug. I'm not calling it the bear hug. It's the Care Bear hug because she's basically more Care Bear than human. Spine buster into the corner by Watanabe. Watanabe goes for a corner attack, but Arisu counters the corner attack and brings Miyu to the top rope and hits a double jump drop kick to the outside, like sending Miyu to the outside. Miyu is able to get back in, and Arisu hits that curb stomp and knee drop on Miyu Watanabe as she's hanging off the ropes and only gets a 2 count. Arisu locks in the camel clutch, but Miyu Watanabe is able to counter it with a power slam. And Miyu's trying to go for a flapjack finisher, but Arisu counters into an arm trap suplex. And Arisu nearly beats Miyu with the camel clutch. I thought she actually tapped for a second. I straight up just thought like she had her at a moment, but Miyu Watanabe was able to counteract, like tripping up Risu and just lighting up her chest with a chop. It was absolutely insane. A little more back and forth. Miyu hitting that flapjack maneuver for the win. Miyu showing respect to Risu afterwards. 4.5 out of 5 Yakin Wilds. Incredible match. And I haven't seen a lot of Risu Endo before, but this really felt like, if not like the biggest match for her, it felt like a really big match for her. And it's actually going to be kind of crazy because we're going to see both of the teammates of these two, with Rika, Tatsumi, and Suzume, battling out later. I don't know if this is going to have any implication with that going into the psyche of each of their teammates. But like I said, this is match of the night, where we're going to see if our next 3 matches are going to be better than this match. Up next, we have Yukio Rai's 2-year anniversary match as she teams with Maki Ito to take on the team of Shoko Nakajima and Yuka Sakazaki. First thing in all of this, Yukio Rai is a beast, has been a beast for a while. The axe kick is fucking beautiful. And speaking of swearing, let's fucking go! It's Brooklyn in the hole! This theme is so goddamn good. I listen to it on Spotify like every single day. It's so good. Listen to it if you haven't. Speaking of banger themes, Yuka then comes out. I'm not even going to try and recreate her theme. It's just absolutely amazing. Listen to it if you haven't. There's probably a little soundbite going on a bit right now. Then the big kaiju herself, Shoko Nakajima. I'm a really big fan of Shoko Nakajima. Definitely one of my favorites in TJPW. And then, of course, we go. I thought there was going to be honor, but apparently there is no honor. There's no honor. Yuka and Shoko tried to get the jump and do a suicide dive, but Maki and Yuki snuffed them out and showboat a little bit. Who's the cutest in the world? Maki Ito. And then you got Yuki Arai doing it as well. Laying down the fish, Maki tags in Yuki, and Yuki beats up Shoko for a bit. Shoko is able to fight back and tag in Yuka Sakazaki, who steps on Yuki's forehead and does 3 face scrapes. Not once, not twice, but thrice, and it sure wasn't nice. And then Yuka rams Yuki's face into Shoko's boot. Shoko hits a nice Tope Atomiko for a 2 count. It's very much on the side of Yuka and Shoko. Yuka gets tagged back in, healing up a bit, and then choking the absolute fuck out of Yuki Arai. Yuka continuing to choke her. Yuki dodges Yuka's attack, drop kick, but eats a power slam anyways for her troubles. Then Yuka goes to overpower Yuki, but Yuki hits a drop kick in response. Double tags made to Maki and Shoko, and Shoko hits a nice flying back elbow, and the commentary referenced Shane McMahon. I'm just like, alright, man, these guys are going out of control. Maki Ito blocks Shoko's 619 with her head. Maki then gets Shoko in position for a DDT on the apron. Back in the ring, Maki gets Shoko in the corner, does a back elbow and a tornado DDT just for a 2 count though. Makio tries to lock in the Ito special, but Shoko counters and hits a clothesline in the corner, and then they make a reference to the fucking Miz, the Miz of all wrestlers. Shoko hits a drop kick and tags in Yuka, who makes a pinfall for a 2 count. Yuka and Shoko with a nice double team maneuver, look really nice. Yuki saves Maki Ito from getting pinned by Shoko Nakajima. Maki and Shoko trade headlocks, and Maki hits Kokeshi to sort of snuff out whatever Shoko was looking for. Yuki is now tagged in and drop kicks Shoko and attacks in the corner. Shoko counters a boot in the corner, hits a 619 on Yuki for a 2. Shoko Nakajima goes for oh so pretty Northern Lights finisher, but it gets countered, but it doesn't even matter because Shoko hits a Frankensteiner, but it gets reversed by Yuki for the count of 2. Yuki able to get some momentum, hit an axe kick to Shoko for 2 as Yuka breaks up the pin but gets dumped to the outside by Maki. Yuki goes for a full Nelson-like maneuver, probably going to go for a full Nelson slam, but Shoko counters with a dropkick. Shoko is able to tag in Yuka, who commits just forearm murder on Yuki. And remember, Yuka is the final boss, at least until December 1st, but we'll get to that when we get to there. But then just starts just basically just big broing her, just basically just forearm the hell out of her. She can't really do anything. You're fucking with the main character of TJPW, Yuki. I'm sorry to tell you, but Yuka hits a brainbuster and Shoko blocks Maki. So you think this is gonna be it, but Yuki is her and just kicks out, and Yuka just does not look happy about that. Yuka and Shoko go for this nice little like double pin sort of maneuver, but Maki was able to break it up. Double 619, and as incorrectly called by the commentary team, 1,248. It's 1,238. I did the math. I'm not stupid. Yuka goes for the magical merry-go-round. Then Yuki reverses actually and goes for the axe kick, and then Yuka reverses, but Yuki grabs Yuka and hits her with a full Nelson slam. Yuki Arai goes in for the sharpshooter, locks it in, and then the commentary said Shades of the Rock, and I'm like, alright, this is egregious at this point. I'm fine with you guys referencing The Miz, Shane McMahon even, whoever else, but you mentioning The Rock with a sharpshooter, that is horrid. But then Shoko breaks up the submission, but then Makito takes out Shoko with a tornado DDT after a fight, and Yuka just hits a punch to Makito for a quad down. Everyone's down in the ring right now. Yuka tries to punk out Yuki, but Yuki does not play that shit. Yuki tries to knock down Yuka, who hits a spinning back kick for her troubles. Yuka hits the magic merry-go-round on Yuki for the win. Yuka, Sakazaki, and Shoko Nakajima win. And this match, I liked it. I'm gonna give it 3.5 out of 5 Yakin Wilds. Yuka's final boss energy, Maki's annex, Shoko's scrappy sort of energy, and Yuki's energy complements all of each other so well. It's great to see Yuki Arai being this sort of player within TJPW, especially like for 2 years now. Hopefully she's gonna be going for a lot longer. And you can kind of tell Yuka kind of looks a little off in this match. That's what I noticed personally. It's gonna be kind of sad not gonna be able to see her in TJPW anymore. At least we have until December. I know she said she did not want to work for any other Joshi promotion, which is insane. Like you think like somewhere would have tried to pick her up, but it's her decision, and I can't be mad. Here's the thing. You should never be mad at a wrestler for their decision. Like if it's betterment for them, for their wallet, for their well-being, for their family, whatever, you should never be mad at a wrestler for that. But yeah, this is a great match right here. A very nice tag match. And ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the International Princess Championship as Rika Tatsumi defends against Suzume. How did we get here? I will say, not involved in the hype package at all, which is a very missed opportunity. The first ever Yes Wonderland 5 years ago in 2018, as you can see here on the screen, Rika Tatsumi's making her way down to the ring for a match against Miyu Yamashita. And who do you see that in the crowd? The first person you see holding their phone to Rika Tatsumi? That is fucking Suzume right there. That's Suzume right there. I'm mad they did not mention that in the hype package, which it would have made it just a little bit more special. Would have just made it a little bit more special. Suzume went on record saying that she's a big fan of Rika Tatsumi, sort of idols her. It's very incredible to see, and so it's kind of crazy. And also knowing that Suzume actually cried in the crowd when Yamashita won that match against Rika Tatsumi, that was 5 years ago, and now 5 years later, like 5 years later, being able to face her sort of idol, it's incredible. But of course, like not only with that little bit of lore right there, there's actually a little bit of lore, a little bit of more lore with it. Of course, Suzume actually sort of called out Rika Tatsumi wanting this match. I mean, Rika Tatsumi was pinned by Suzume in the TJPW Princess Cup. It was very shocking. No one was really expecting that. They sort of thought that Rika Tatsumi was gonna beat Suzume, but Suzume got the win right there. Incredible stuff right there. And Suzume comes out. She's all happy, all smiles and everything. And of course, Rika's terrifying. This woman's terrifying. I mean, any woman willing to just shatter her ankles for an entrance is just insane. And then you got Arisu, Suzume's tag partner. They're in a tag team called Daisy Monkey. Working overtime, get rid of them streamers and everything. Also, that belt is absolutely beautiful. I don't care what anyone says. That is a beautiful belt. Um, Code of Honor is held up between the two. They start out the match. Suzume going for roll ups to start out. But Rika Tatsumi does not like that, and then just starts to just commit murder by strangulation, but in a very smart way. You see, like the referees will try and like disqualify her when she's choking her opponent, like yeah, till the count of five, of course, even when you're not holding a rope. But she just starts choking Suzume with an opposite hand every single time to break the count, and then on the final time she just starts strangling her. I'll never be over that move by Rika Tatsumi. It's absolutely brutal. Then Rika tries to literally strangle Suzume to death, holding her up in the air, but Suzume is able to counter with a drop kick, sending Rika Tatsumi to the outside. Suzume tries to go for a crossbody, but Rika Tatsumi grabs Suzume's leg from under the rope and slams her knees to the floor, starting to work that leg. And then they go over to the other side of the arena, and then just starts choking her with a tube light that she got. Rika starts choking Suzume with a tube light she got from a child, and then hitting a hip attack onto Suzume. Rika and Suzume get back in the ring, and Rika starts working a leg a little bit more. Rika misses an elbow drop, and Suzume misses a drop kick, and Rika hits a shin breaker for her too. It's a very brutal shin breaker. Rika works Suzume's leg in the corner and almost wins with a roll up, but Suzume was able to hit a bulldog to counter. Suzume wins a nice strike exchange, hitting a drop kick for a two. Suzume goes for a corner attack, and Rika jumps over and hits a Ric Flair-esque chop block. I'm able to say that. Right? I'm not commentating. I'm not sitting here comparing someone to the Ultimate Warrior. Screw the Ultimate Warrior. Anyways, Rika smashes Suzume's leg into the post and tries to hit a drive-by dropkick on Suzume, who counters, and then Rika is on the ropes, and Suzume grabs Rika in a spider lock on the ropes, and then after the ref tells her to get off and everything, hits a drop kick to the outside, and then finally hits a dive to the outside and rolls Rika back in the ring for a two. Suzume misses a dive to Rika, and Rika just smells blood and just decides to take out the leg. Rika kind of like the cloaker from Payday 2, just it's very scary stuff. And then Rika Tatsumi showing that she's better than Ric Flair. I mean, these cage match screenshots don't lie. As she locks in her figure four, but Suzume finally gets to the ropes after a long figure four struggle. Rika hits a Bane-esque backbreaker and then locks in the sleeper hold. Struggling for a bit is Suzume, but then Rika tries to make her sleeper hold drag on. That's a great pun right there. I don't want to hear anyone tell me otherwise. Suzume was able to counter with a cutter and then put on a sleeper hold of her own. Suzume gets slammed into the corner by Rika, but she's just not letting go. And then Rika slamming Suzume more and more into the corner again, gets her to the top rope and delivers a drop kick to the back. Rika locks in a dragon sleeper on the top rope, and after Suzume falls, Rika heads to the top and tries to go for that hip attack, but Suzume But Suzume dodges, hits a diving cutter for a very close 2 count, and then tries to go for another cutter, but Rika counters, but Suzume counters Rika's counter to get a 2 count. Suzume teases a cradle that she beat Rika with before, but we're locking into a submission, thinking she's Bryan Danielson. Rika was able to get to the rope, and Suzume goes for a springboard bulldog, but Rika pushes her off, hits Suzume with a hip attack for a very close 2 count. Rika Tatsumi hitting the twist of fate and the diving hip attack for the win. 5 out of 5 Yakiwaos. Excellent story told throughout the match. Suzume has really come into her own as a performer. Just the attacks she's able to do and sort of chain them together as well as she does really makes her. This really felt like her coming out party right here with Arisa Endo. People sort of, I guess people knew how great both of them were, but Suzume's really shown right here like she can hang with these. She can hang with the older stars. I'm not saying Rika's old or anything, but it's still kind of crazy. Like like Suzume for as little as she's been wrestling, she's still able to sort of come into her own as a performer. It's very incredible stuff right there. Of course, after the match, Rika Tatsumi and Suzume stare down. I find it really hard to believe this is Suzume's final match for that. I really feel as if at the end of this year, Suzume will win that International Princess Championship. I mean, she kind of has to, right? Like, she kind of has to. And then in our main event, ladies and gentlemen, for the Princess of Princess Championship, you have Jesus Christ, what a woman, Sawyer Wreck taking on Mizuki. They have like their little hype package. Of course, Sawyer Wreck just came off her big win in a light tubes death match with Hikari Noa. It's a very brutal match. Sawyer Wreck towers over the entire TJPW roster. She is 6'2". That is incredibly tall for those who do not know. And my first thought when Mizuki is making her entrance, of course, like 2-belt Mizuki, woo, let's go. But how in the fuck is Mizuki gonna hit the whirling candy on Sawyer Wreck? I was thinking, there's no way. Like, there's no way that's possible. It wasn't gonna happen. The match starts and Sawyer just easily overpowers Mizuki. It's not even like a challenge for her. It's not even like a challenge for Sawyer, right? Just easily overpowers Mizuki. I don't know if Mizuki has a death wish or something, but she calls for a test of strength. She's putting her hand all the way up, but then Sawyer puts her hand higher, and she's not happy about that, but then Mizuki just stomps on Sawyer's foot 3 times, and then gets shoulder blocked for her efforts. Sawyer Wreck fucking heaves Mizuki towards the ropes. It's kind of brutal, actually, and then tries to grab a chair, like when they're both on the outside, but then the referee pulls the chair away from Sawyer Wreck. Sawyer Wreck then boots Mizuki down, who then yeets her into the chairs. Back in the ring now, Mizuki tries to knock down Sawyer, who just laughs in her face and then boots Mizuki down. Sawyer's really just on fire right now. Then goes for a corner attack, but Mizuki counters, has speed to counter all of Sawyer's offense. And then Mizuki dives to Sawyer from the top rope, who catches her in position like how Mark Henry do the World Strongest Slam, puts her in a powerbomb position, then hits the jackknife powerbomb, thinking she Kevin Nash, and then goes for the cover to Sawyer Wreck. We think we're gonna have a new champion, but Mizuki grabs the rope at 2. Mizuki rolls out, but Sawyer just grabs her by the head and pulls Mizuki back onto the apron, and into her clutches for a suplex toss. Sawyer goes for a gory-like maneuver, like a gory bomb, something like that, but Mizuki counters and hits a cutthroat slam with a rope assist. I've never seen anything like that before. It's very impressive. Mizuki using all of her speed to launch herself at Sawyer, sort of like a different version of the whirling candy with no spin. Mizuki hits a foot stomp from the apron to the floor, and then from the top rope to the floor, and then rolls Sawyer back in the ring for a 2. Sawyer powers out of 2 crossfaces and goes for an airplane spin.
And then there's a ref bump.
Sawyer throws Mizuki and grabs the ref for him to count the pin, but it's only a 2 count, and Mizuki hits a drop kick for Sawyer's troubles, and then goes for the cover, but when Sawyer kicks out, she launches Mizuki in the air, who lands on the referee.
And then there's a ref bump.
Sawyer grabs 5 chairs and goes for a suplex Mizuki into them, who counters. Sawyer picks up a chair and swings them at Mizuki twice, who dodges and counters with a dropkick into the chairs into Sawyer's face. Sawyer's sort of dazed, but then Mizuki hits a rolling leg takedown on Sawyer into the chairs. The ref gets back in the ring, and Mizuki hits a basement dropkick and a diving foot stomp to the back for a 2. Sawyer then grabs Mizuki for a gory sidewalk slam for a double down, and after that, they're both like getting to their knees, and Mizuki hits some forearm smashes on Sawyer when Sawyer hits one big one to take down Mizuki for a 2. And then Sawyer goes for the choke slam not once, but twice, but with each of them countered by Mizuki, who hits an explorer suplex, a diving foot stomp, and another exploring suplex, this one with a bridge for the win. After the match, Mizuki's awarded the championship. Sawyer and Mizuki show respect to each other, and Sawyer gets an ovation. And then apparently, Kaya, who was in one of the 6-woman tag team matches, helps Sawyer to the back and everything. This match was absolutely incredible. But before I give my rating, Maki Ito comes out. Mizuki's giving like her speech. Maki Ito comes out, and she wants to be next for the Princess of Princess Championship in July. And this is kind of interesting because they're both former Ito Respect Gun. They're both clashing here. And I'm going to say with this match, it's 4 out of 5 Yaki Wilds. The size difference was very fun to watch play out. It was a very enjoyable match. Even with it being very short, it was only like 11 minutes long. Like around 11 minutes long. It's not that long at all. It's a very fun match. And it's always very interesting to see Mizuki work with such a size difference. Like, that was incredible. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully I did well with my editing or whatever. I'm trying to get better with commentary still, as you guys can tell. I would love some feedback in the comments or wherever. So thank you guys so much for watching. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to... It just means a lot. So yeah, I will catch you guys later. Take care.